Okie dokie, we should be live. Hi and welcome, guys, to this Saturday early stream. With me is my dear friend Atanas. Hi, Nasko.
Hi.
And because we are fitness people, yeah, we would like to basically offer our help and knowledge to you guys so you can basically, uh, try to stay in shape while in this current situation. Because, as you know, we are all stuck inside and we all have to do something about it. So, yeah, we have to do something about it because we are going to get out of this 100 kilos heavier. And how hi to this is this disparaging cheers. Wow, already somebody in the chat. Hi to you.
There's somebody watching already.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, everything is
Um,
good. You're supposed to hearing us. Give us feedback on the quality. I see that it's working perfectly, but if there's something, you can always tell us. Okay. So, Nasco, what do you think about the current situation in terms of how people, are going to not lose their shape, so to speak?
I think the biggest problem is to not eat all the time because when you're isolated at home, you tend to get bored, and boredom quickly leads to increased appetite because we need an emotional stimulation. And when we go to the fridge and we eat something sugary, we get a spike in dopamine levels. So basically, when we get bored, that's why some people feel that they're hungry. But actually, this is not true hunger. This is just an emotional, um, I don't know how to say it. It's an emotional craving to just spike dopamine levels and not feel so bored. So my tips um, probably lock your fridge or find something interesting to do in this current situation. This is the most important tip is this: get busy.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And also because here in Bulgaria, our supermarkets are not yet emptied out. Well, some things are, but the point is do not buy food that is triggering for you, do not buy Oreos or stuff like that that you'll definitely
Yeah,
eat if you just sit down and watch movies and you're going to associate eating with watching something, and this is going to become a habit, especially in this situation. So the point of our video here as well is to let you know, guys, how to form new habits that are healthier and not habits that are going to be extremely detrimental to your health in this situation and further down the line when this is all over, because you're going to incorporate these habits, when this is, done. So the point is to remove all temptation to buy the healthiest foods possible and to, yeah, not eat without any reason, because obviously if you don't know how to expend energy during this time when you're at home, you will be, your daily energy expenditure is going to be so low that you're going to be fat out of your normal food that you eat every day, because you're not spending the calories that you're supposed to be spending. So there's that. I have a lot to say about, now how to, how to keep your metabolism faster and all of that, which is going to lead us to the workout advices. But let me know what you think in this regard first.
about the workouts at home.
Yeah, about what to do to keep like moving if you don't have much of equipment, let's say.
Uh, yeah, well, the answer is obvious. It's bodyweight exercises. It depends on your level of advancement. If you're an advanced fitness person like myself, you would need maybe a little bit more equipment. Uh, but if you're a beginner, you can probably get away with just bodyweight exercises like push-ups, for example, squats, bodyweight squats. What else? Well, I can go. I can list the different exercises grouped by each muscle group. So, for example, if you start with the chest, Of course, push-ups. There are different variations of push-ups. You can use close grip push-ups. You can use wide grip push-ups. Of course, most people know that the wider your grip is, the more you involve your chest muscles, and the more narrow your grip is, you involve more of your triceps. And of course, now when I'm isolated at home, I use push-up bars, which is,
You mean grips? You mean grips,
yeah, grips.
probably.
They're grips. Yeah, grips. So you have two grips. You put them on the ground. You use neutral grip, and the best way to do this exercise is to elevate your legs, probably on the sofa or on a chair, and then use the decline
Yeah.
push-up to stimulate more of your chest fibers. So basically, I'm an advanced lifter, and right now I'm doing 3 times a week elevated push-ups with a on a decline. Uh, uh, I do 'em, like yeah, the I
Yeah,
don't
I
have
know
the
what you
exact
mean.
word.
You're
Yeah,
using the, you're just elevating your legs and thus
legs, and I'm doing
creating
like
this
a
angle.
decline push-up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'm basically maintaining my muscle mass as far as my chest is concerned, doing push-ups 3 times a week, probably 4 sets until failure. As far as the other muscle groups, for the back is a difficult one to do at home. If you have dumbbells, of course, you can do some rows, some dumbbell rows. But if you don't have dumbbells for the back muscles, you can do the I don't know if you're familiar with this exercise, the Superman. The Superman. This is how it's called, the Superman. So basically, you lay on the floor and you extend your arms and your legs. I don't know if you can visualize it right now. You extend your arms and legs, and you try to extend them as high as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're doing a static contraction on your back muscles. So you should focus on the static contraction and keep it as long as possible until it starts to burn. And another exercise for the back muscles, if you don't have any equipment, is to do the bridge. I don't know if you're familiar with the bridge. It's basically you lay on your back and you try to lift yourself up with your hands
Yeah.
like this and with your legs. So you can do this in terms of, well, as a regular exercise. For example, 20 reps of 4 sets of 20 reps. And of course, for the legs, you have a lot of different exercises. You can do squat variations, you can do lunges, you can do calf raises, you can do reverse lunges, single leg squats for the advanced. Um, Biceps is another muscle group that is very hard to stimulate at home. Probably with some heavy, I don't know, bottles of water you can use if you don't have dumbbells.
I would
Yeah,
suggest everybody freaking order dumbbells while some of those
yeah, yeah,
some of those shops are still working, and we
yeah.
have a quickly comment by disparaging cheers. He says, what does our friend think of Mike Tyson's 1985 body? And it shows you look very good, my guy. uh,
Thank you very much.
well, I have to Google
Um,
that Mike Tyson, but I
yeah,
know that
I
he
should
looked
Google
very
Mike
ripped.
Tyson's body. Just give me a second.
Yeah, well,
1985.
while you're Googling that, I would add that, yeah, I mean, guys, my advice in general is that you should have thought to have some kind of equipment in your house in general, because investing in your health is super important. So a lot of people that have not bought anything for home use now are like, oh my God, what I'm going to do? Where as I have everything that I need, even a treadmill, and I'm doing 10,000 steps, 20, I'm trying to do 20,000 steps a day, running, doing everything that I can. And I am filming actually a video about that. I'm still filming it because I didn't feel that energized a few days ago, and we are all
But
more
you have a
depressed
home
about
gym
it.
though.
But yeah, I have a home gym. I'm going to show some stuff that do not require any gym, of course,
Hmm.
like your decline,
Yeah, push-ups.
push-ups. I have very cool dumbbells that I use for grips because they stick
Hmm.
to the floor. They do not slip, so I can do that with them. So this way I can protect my wrists because if I'm doing
Hmm.
this on the floor, I'm putting too much tension here, which I don't want to do because I had previously like a bit of a
You can strain your wrist.
yeah, I had something like a contusion before when I was a kid, and I managed to fix that 2 years ago. And since then, I had not any problems with it. But I'm training smart, so I'm not putting any tension on the wrist, and I always have the perfect position when I bench press and everything else, and no issues at all. So
And
yeah,
you can
well,
actually, yeah, I saw the pictures of Mike Tyson. I don't know what to say about him. He's jacked as usual. I don't know I'm not sure actually what the question is.
okay, let me see
Uh,
it as well.
yeah,
Let me see him as
yeah.
well.
But you can also do dips between two chairs. You should be careful though, not to fall down and break something. But for example, if you have two chairs here, you can you know catch grab them by the I don't know by by the top of the chairs and just do dips between the chairs if you and of course you should fold your legs. This is a creative option.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Actually, you know
yeah,
what's a good idea? If you were to record a lot of these body exercises, I mean, with minimal equipment possible at home,
yeah.
and I can do the
And for
same thing.
shoulders as well, if you're not overweight, you can do handstand push-ups. Basically, you elevate yourself against the wall, and you're doing uh, push-ups, but in a vertical way. So basically, doing push-ups just with your shoulders. So your legs will go up here,
Yeah.
and you're upside down, and you're doing push-ups. Those are called handstand push-ups. But this is an advanced movement, so it's dangerous. You might get injured. But it's a very good option for the shoulders.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
And by the way, I saw that the prices of some of those pull-up bars for home use that you can put on your door are pretty cheap. I mean, everybody can buy some if they have the door frame for it. If it's wide enough or short, I mean, or
yeah.
narrow enough, it depends on the length of the bar. So that's also a great option. I have the Gym Extreme, I think it was called, with all the variable grips, wide grip, short grip, whatever grip you can think of. So yeah, I am going to do something without an equipment and with equipment, but still my advice always is to invest in your health, guys. So whenever you can, when this crisis is over, like make a 2 to 3 meters of space somewhere and just build a freaking home gym. And the guy says, I mean, sorry, despairing cheers. So he says he was fighting anyone above his weight, but he doesn't look this big to me. Just wanted your opinion. Well, he's
Uh,
ripped, he's amazing condition. A lot of the boxers today are just fat. I mean, literally, I was shocked when I watched
well,
recent
yeah, they're
fights,
not fat. They just have high body fat percentage, but
They're fat for athletes. I mean, they literally
yeah,
have
yeah,
love
for
handles hanging out of their
yeah,
shorts.
in bodybuilding terms, they might be fat, but the thing is that if you're not a bodybuilder, if you're a boxer, for example, you don't need that much muscle mass because it might slow you down. The thing with Mike Tyson is that his style of boxing was more aggressive, and so he used his muscle mass to his advantage. Um, and he was counting on this strategy to knock down his opponents earlier in the game. But for most boxers, you don't need that much muscle, and you also don't need a low percentage of body fat. I mean, sub 10%.
Well,
Um,
he's not sub 10% in those pictures, but he's
yeah,
a
he's
lot
not.
more
Yeah,
athletic than, uh, you know,
probably. Yeah.
What I have a lot of actually observation about these things because I watched athletes that were strongmen and other guys before, and just the standards of how all of those athletes looked before is totally different from now. They had a lot more muscle and they were a lot more lean than now. Now it's just like free for all. If you can make the category, it doesn't matter if you're fat or more athletic. You just have to make the category. That is how it's now. But you can
Yeah,
even
yeah.
see some strong men, literally strong men, that are looking like bodybuilders before, and they were lifting the heaviest weight, competing in strongman. Whereas
Hmm.
now the most you can say with the best shapes is Larry Wheels. I mean, he's not. I mean, the least fat out of everybody, but I mean, the standards are like totally different. You can have MMA fighters like the how big, not big jerky, but there was one fighter with big beard that was called something like I don't know what, I forgot, and he is literally obese, but he
Hmm.
just fits in that category, so who cares? And he's very good, and he can come up with along with somebody that is leaner, and the leaner guy can beat him. I seen that before,
Yeah,
but it's all about skill. But at the same time, I do think that also if you have too much fat, that can slow you down because you're
yeah,
literally carrying that. It's shaking everywhere, and you're trying to. You look
yeah,
like big jelly that tries to hit another guy. I mean, it's
yeah.
not
For an athlete,
optimal.
yeah, for an athlete's body, in professional terms, you just need a lean physique. You don't need a lot of muscle. You don't need very low body fat, probably around 10, and that's enough. Um, because a muscle is just when you get out, if you put the bodybuilding world aside, muscle is just a cosmetic, uh, a cosmetic adaptation. Basically, people are after muscle mass because they want to look better naked. So, and this is the only um, um,
I'm shocked right now
yeah.
that you're saying
Why?
this. This is totally not correct physically. How
But
can you say that
why?
it's
Why isn't it
only
correct? For example,
because
if
when I
you're
have more
strong.
muscle, I'm a lot more functional. I'm literally an athlete. I can do a lot more stuff that other
Yeah,
girls
yeah,
with
but
my,
you don't have
you know,
but you don't have muscle in excess like a bodybuilder
well, I don't have
because
it in excess, but when I'm way more developed like I am now, I can literally beat two girls in the same time with one arm. I
yeah
can. I've
in
done
your
this.
case you're right, but I'm talking about purely from a bodybuilding perspective that this muscle from a certain point on muscle is just not functional.
From what point on is not functional?
It's different for everybody.
Ah, you mean
Because
point?
muscle mass does not necessarily equal strength, because strength is more connected to the nervous system. You have to adapt your nervous system to lift heavier weights, and in a sense you're training your body to use more muscle fibers, but this doesn't mean that those muscle fibers must become bigger necessarily.
Wait a minute. Okay, I understand what you mean, but
Yeah,
in the same time, I mean, things are connected. I mean, they're not,
up to a
they're,
certain point they're connected.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me break
Probably
this
for
down.
probably for natural people and fitness guys and girls, probably there is a connection. But if you go to the professional bodybuilding level and going on stage and so on and so forth, the connection, the relationship between muscle and strength, dissolves.
Okay, so let me just, like I've said, let me break
Let's
this
change the
down
topic then.
because I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be extremely confused by this the way that you said it. So
Okay.
okay, so if, for instance, I am, naturally stronger than other girls without training. Without ever
Right.
starting to train, I can still beat some guys, girls, literally, physically. But when I started to train, I became twice as stronger, twice as faster, twice as everything else. Because again, this is what is known as becoming, above average than an athlete, and all of those things. That's why every athlete has some kind of a muscle. Without that, they cannot, have the explosive power and everything else. I mean, muscle fiber has all the
Yeah.
connection that is related to movement, to explosive movements. That is where other muscle fibers come in. But the point is, if you develop those muscle fibers, they have a certain functionality that helps you achieve certain goals. So in that way, you can be, stronger naturally in a certain level, but you can always enhance that, and you will enhance that when you train. Is just that is this correlation where you can have your set point without training of strength, but then if you train, you will gain a lot more strength and everything that comes with more muscle, basically. And of course, more better metabolism, bone strength, longevity, better immunity, and all of those other benefits that are scientifically proven. I mean, I don't really need to explain that. Maybe to a regular person, but I should not be having to explain that to you, though. And hi to Clayton in the chat. And so on. There was one bodybuilder that was natural. I just want to mention him. He was 90 something years old, looked 60, but I just forgot his name. Always functional, always training to the last minute. He had amazing body, like V taper, everything you can think of on that age. He just died because he caught something like the coronavirus, basically. He got infection and pneumonia, and they just couldn't save him. But other than that, he was perfectly healthy person, and he could live like 100 and more, and he still could be in the gym, and he had better quality of life because of that muscle. Throughout his life, he had that's like such a different way of living. I mean, he was capable of doing everything that his peers could not. He was
Yeah.
not so old that he couldn't do anything. Like, on the contrary, he can go like long walks, and he can do everything that we can do, just that he's 97. So,
Actually, as you get older, the quantity of muscle mass that you carry is the best predictor of how long you will live.
yeah,
Because with the elderly, the more muscle mass you have when you enter old age, um, the better you would be. So basically, there is another study that I came across a few weeks ago that basically means that if you're an active person when you're young, and if you're a bodybuilder training, increasing your strength and muscle mass, you develop your muscle fibers in such a way that even if you stop training, then when you enter old age, you would still have more muscle nuclei,
yeah,
and therefore you would be better when you're getting older. So basically, all those people that are training in their 20s and 30s and 40s, for example, and even if they stop training after that, they would still be a benefit regarding to how long they will live. And with the elderly, there is another problem. They have those spine conditions that make them, they can't keep a straight posture. So they basically, when you lose your muscle mass on your back muscles, your posture starts to get like this,
yeah,
like this. This is probably a medical condition. I don't know how it is called. And so if you're training in the gym and if you're exercising your back muscles regularly, as you get older, you can keep a straight posture, which is very, very important, of course. And of course, strength training stimulates not bone growth, but bone density,
yeah,
and yeah, stimulates growth hormone release, lowers cortisol, balances your whole hormonal system. So it's, of course, as long as you don't overtrain, it is always better to work out and to be active than to sit home all day and just be a couch potato.
of course, of course. I just look at the comments real quick, and then actually I'm going to
Okay.
get into the main topic that we kind of, decided to, go sideways on that topic. But because I have not given any useful information yet, I don't think. So he says, disparaging, cheers, says, what do you think of Rob? Who? Miss Hedy getting ripped for season 13. What do you mean I don't know this guy? What is season 13 about? What? Season 13 of what? Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you mean? I'm not sure. And he says that he likes you. That's great.
Thank you.
Kevin Rooney, also have no idea who is this guy. Maybe, well, I'll check who is this guy. Uh, what about Butterbean? What the heck is Butterbean? Am I am I still sleeping? Because I have no idea what the heck is that. Uh
Butterbean.
okay, Kevin Rooney is another boxer, I guess, as far as I can see. That's not the topic, guys. Really, it's not. We have to stick to the topic because it's very easy to, go sideways. Okay,
Yeah.
so on to the topic, guys. As I said, I did film some stuff, working at home with the equipment. I have to finish with that, and then I have to film, how you can work out without equipment, obviously. But once again, I do think that as a matter of principle, we should not have this conversation about you not having an equipment. Even my friend Kirill from Superheroes Bulgaria, he bought a lot of resistant bands that I have the same that I have, and he can do so many things with him. And since he's just starting, he never lifted a weight in his life. They're pretty substantial because, even if you lift them at once, you can't. I mean, when you stretch them at once, they're so heavy, it's even very difficult for him. So that's gonna be very substantial for a long time. And yeah, and you can carry that everywhere that you go because it does not weigh anything. You don't need, I mean, that's like to be carrying dumbbells around, but you can do even more with the resistant bands than the dumbbells, as well as there are more professional, resistant bands that you can buy that they're like very thick. They're like 25 kilos, 30 kilos, whatever. You can put them on your back, do push-ups with that. You can, again, so many things you can do with that. So I do plan to buy some of them when this is all over, just to enhance other parts of my training. Although I don't really need to, but I want to because I love this stuff. But yeah, the point is, guys, first, when you get up, because now, like me, I'm home office, and Nasco, you're home office as well, I guess.
Yeah.
To not lose the some kind of a pattern of behavior, that's the whole topic.
Mhm.
I get
And to
up.
establish new habits.
Yeah, establishing new habits as well. I mean, exactly. I get up, I make my coffee, I put some water on my treadmill, and I put the laptop on the treadmill, and I'm just, watching my email if something comes in. At the same time, I'm trying to, before breakfast, which for me breakfast starts at 12, uh, you know, at noon, but trying to do like 5,000 steps. So I either run or walk really fast, depending on how I feel. So when I do my 5,000 steps, I'm going to the kitchen at 12. I'm doing all my meals for the day. I'm doing that very fast. So in the 30 minutes span of 30 minutes, I'm already done with everything that I'm going to eat during the day. And I eat half of that, half of all of that. And then I walk again after my meals, so I can help the digestion, and also because that is the way, that is a way of the body to use all of that energy immediately and put it where it should be put in, and that
Hmm.
is, of course, the muscles. So I'm using all of that as fast as I can without, I'm not, obviously I'm not running because I'm gonna throw up, but I'm walking, and that really helps me. Then I'm making like 10,000 steps for, let's say, an hour. Then I can like rest, watch something. I train with weights, and like 1.5 hours later, because I'm finishing at like 4 with everything that I eat my last meal, and at 4 at the latest, I'm done with everything that I consume as calories for the day. And then again, I train, I stream, and I'm starting the videos because now I can actually get to the videos and everything else that I can do. And of course, I'm watching my PC of work if something comes in. I actually had to work some hours this week. It was not like I was not doing anything. But if I'm gonna work, is always the laptop is always on the treadmill, and I'm always there and always working while walking. I always moving, 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 and I find myself like sitting. The only time that I'm sitting is now when I'm doing something streaming or when I have like 20 minutes left before midnight and I'm watching YouTube, which is my favorite thing to do, to just chill and watch YouTube. So that's where I'm sitting the whole time, the whole day. And I lost 400 grams till now, which is great. And my new meal plan, it's working. So that's another thing that I'm going to talk in my own video about my new meal plan and all of that. But the point is that I managed to create all of that. I'm trying to relax, enjoy some movies. I watched several movies when I had time, again during workouts. And now I can even do a review of that. So I'm trying to be productive as much as possible to do what I love. And I'm pretty happy with it, with everything. Of course, we are in this situation, but I'm no longer at least depressed. I'm productive and I'm happy actually. Yeah. So you can just apply that to your own life and your own schedule, so to speak. You can just do something similar to that, in order to stay busy and stay active during the day.
And lock your fridge.
Lock your fridge if you can't, you
Yeah.
know, if you yeah. But having like something that is the same or at least similar to it every day also helps. Like for
Hmm.
instance today, because I have to hit certain macros in order for everything, for that whole thing to work. For instance today I'm gonna replace one of the meals with something different, just to keep things interesting for me and not having to be like tired of particular foods. But that meal that I'm gonna be replacing has the same macros that the one that I'm replacing it with, so I'm not losing anything, or having more calories or anything like that. I'm hitting the macros the same way, even though with a bit more protein. That's the biggest difference, which is great because I'm eating tons of protein anyway. But the calories are the same, so like a few more grams, everything is the same, and I'm gonna be very happy about it. I can't wait to go and make that.
Yeah. So this is basically the perfect time to try fasting, if
Yeah.
you haven't yet already.
mm, you mean
And
everybody else, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because I'm
and
basically
probably
eating for
get you
4 hours. Yeah.
yeah, and probably get used to working out more often. Probably 4 or 5 days a week. And best case scenario is to get used to working out 4 or 5 times a week, and then after this coronavirus situation is has been resolved, then you can still apply those habits to your normal life and go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, or even go out and exercise outside.
Yeah.
This is how you take some negative situation and make it a positive. Focus on yourself. Focus on establishing new healthy habits. It doesn't matter if it's habits that are connected to working out or your eating habits, but instead of sitting on the couch all day and being bored and wondering what to do, then try to eat healthy. Maybe read some articles on fitness nutrition. If you haven't, if you're not familiar with the whole caloric world, maybe go and check some energy expenditure calculators online. Calculate your calories. Get familiar with macronutrients, with micronutrients, and just use this free time that you have to gain more knowledge and be healthy and healthier in the long run.
Yeah.
This is this
Very
is my
good.
advice.
Very good advice, actually. Yeah, guys, try to use this time to learn actually something, like read about how to sustain your health and try
Mm.
fasting, because I don't see how. I mean, fasting is a no-brainer right now. You should not eat if you don't expend that much of energy anyway. So just try to fast. And uh, I usually, started to do 420, so to speak, 4 hours of eating and 20 hours of fasting when I work. And now when I work at home is the same thing. I don't feel any more, I mean, any harder or not harder to do it because I'm expending the same energy that I'm always expending even if I go to work. I try my best to sustain that level of calorie burn. So, yeah, but the point is to create those healthy habits to start from somewhere. Obviously, we have some kind of established already, ways of living. Uh, but even if you're not as advanced as we are, guys, you just have to start because you have to be productive in these times. Nothing better to do. You cannot just sit around and be fat. Like last night on my stream, one of my fans was like, "Well, I'm gonna drink beer and eat chips because that's what I bought." And I'm like, "Okay, just don't do that." I mean, you're gonna get fat. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm already getting fat." Well, there was a freaking meme on the internet with
Yeah,
Thor. You know how Thor is,
yeah.
this cool guy, awesome looking guy, and then his fat self, the
Chris
next picture.
Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth, but the picture was from Thor, literally.
Yeah,
So that
from
was,
Endgame.
yeah,
From
from
Endgame. Yeah,
Endgame,
from
yeah.
Infinity War and then Endgame.
Yeah, that was so funny.
When Thor became fat and depressed.
Yeah, I mean that is how we all are going to get if we don't take what we can control in our hands,
Yeah,
because this is something that we can control. We just have to start to create this discipline, and we are going to feel all the better for it. Because when I was well, yeah. When I was a bit younger, I was like, when Saturday and Sunday comes, I, don't do the usual things that I usually do. So I'm just like waking up super tired because I went to bed super late, and then I'm just dragging myself, across the living room, and I'm sitting down and just watch YouTube immediately instead of just picking the weights immediately or doing anything else like an exercise. Because when you do any kind of exercise, you're immediately are starting to wake up and you feel like your brain had a shot of adrenaline or something like that. You're just, whoop,
mm,
super helpful. Okay, we have to finish with this stream, guys. It's almost noon, but I'm just gonna read what Clayton said because I'm pretty sure it's substantial. So Clayton said, I've also bought some resistant bands now. Wow, that's great. I've been using them for a few weeks and they are working well. I want to buy other equipment as time goes on, more weights, etc. But I have to be very disciplined, otherwise I find myself being lazy and that's not going to get me anywhere. Exactly. Also working on my flexibility as well. Well, that's also beneficial, of course. And hi to Milkshade. Yeah, good morning to you. You're on your morning walk. I hope that there's not a lot of people around you then. I've been paging out the last couple of days since lost my job. You lost
probably
your job.
picking.
Damn it.
Yeah, picking out.
Picking out, yeah, picking out. Well, you were so disciplined, Milkshake. I mean, he literally started fasting and losing weight and everything else. That's exactly my point. I feel how tempting it is to just pig out.
Yeah,
Just like use this as an excuse to
yeah.
sit
Because there's
around and
nothing
do
else to
nothing.
do.
Yeah, but actually there is if you can create it for yourself. You
Hmm.
create your environment, I mean, as far as what you can control. And you can control right now a lot of things that are up to you guys. So make the right choices and don't be lazy, because at the end of the day, now is the most important time to be healthy, to get a better immune system, and to move around and sustain your body. That's the most important time. If there's ever like a time that you should do this and it's like mandatory and you cannot use any excuse, now is this time. So, like, think about that. Make your mindset be very focused, and help yourself, help your body. Do not let yourself go, because that is going to uh, bite you in the ass. Immediately when we get out of our houses, when we're allowed to go anywhere to work, you're gonna be like a slug, dragging yourself like half dead body on the street like a zombie. That is how you're gonna get out of your house if you don't do anything. Okay, that's me. That was from me.
And if you have more questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Just write them down in the comments, and that's it probably
Yeah, and
for now.
you are going to do some kind of a videos, I suppose, as well these days.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, working out from home and all of that.
Hmm.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk about again my you know, the way that I'm doing things now, so I can have perfect hormones and perfect figure and perfect everything in the same time, which kind of seemed like an impossible task for me just 2 months ago, but now I figured it out. So that's important. I'm gonna talk about in the coming days. But yeah, guys, have a great weekend. I'm gonna appear probably later with some kind of a stream as well, Doom or something else. Doom and chill. Thank you very much to Nasco for this awesome time. And whatever he said, leave your comments down
Yeah.
below.
Till
Clayton
next
says
time.
thank you. Thank you, Clayton. And be inspired, guys. Be self sufficient. Bye bye.
Bye.